currency.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. This is Lena from Crypto Minds Global. We are joined by Joseph Ayoub today from our group, and he is actually the person who showed me how to long and short Bitcoin and other altcoins on Bitmex using leverage. We're excited to have you here, Joseph.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get started.
So I think you just wanted me to walk through. I think you wanted me to walk through just the basics of Bitmex. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so for any beginner starting on Bitmex, it's probably a wise idea to have at least a few months of trading experience under your belt, especially with Bitcoin in particular. I don't know when this will be released, but it's currently the 6th of September. And we had a huge drop in price, almost $1,000, which is going to become very significant in the next few minutes as I explain how Bitmex works and why it's important to have stop losses and be careful. So the first thing to do is about risk. The first thing to teach everyone is about risk. Risk is the most essential part to trading, and essentially all of trading is boiled down to good risk and risk management. So when you're trading on Bitmex, you've obviously got the choice of using a lot of leverage. You've got 100 times, 50 times, 25 times, 10 times. To begin with, you don't really want to be trading with anything greater than 5 to 10 times. More experienced traders use 25 times to do scalp positions when they're trying to play a certain setup. But to begin with, and for beginners, it's probably not a great idea to be doing much leverage at all. So say you have an account with 0.1 Bitcoin in, you don't want to be trading position sizes much larger than, the current price of Bitcoin, which is $6,400, which is 10 times what you've got. So the first thing to do is to teach everyone, well, the second thing to do is to teach everyone how to place an order and how to close an order. So obviously you can buy and you can sell, also known as longing and shorting in the business. And the first thing to note here is that you can do it in two different ways. The first way is market ordering, and that will buy however many contracts you want at the spot price, so to speak, which is the price immediately shown, which would be 6423. Or you can place a limit order. And the difference between the two is mainly the fees. So a market order is faster and more effective and efficient for you, but the fees are extremely high. So you're almost paying a price to have your position open in a certain time. Whereas if you're a bit more patient and you can wait it out, a limit order is probably best. That way you don't pay a lot in fees, and it will save you a lot in the long term, especially if you're using higher leverage. So just to experiment here, we can see the price at 6424.5. We can place a limit order of $1. Not too much risk for now. We'll keep it small. And you can see our order's gone through here. So the price will have to come back down to fill the order. And once you have an order open, you'll see this at the bottom here. So here you'll see what you've bought, what instrument you bought, how big your position size is, what that value is in Bitcoin, where you entered, what the price is now, where you get liquidated, which is a key part of what you don't want to happen, your margin, and how much you've made and how much you've put through today, how much you've made in this trade. So as you can see now, we've got a $1 contract open. There are two ways to close it. So you can sell short by placing a limit order. Remember the fees, cheaper, a little bit slower, but cheaper and better. Or if you're in trouble, this is the best way to close it. So this red button, not a lot of people know, even some of the advanced people don't know. If you click market close in your position, it immediately goes to the front of the queue. So no matter what, if you're placing a limit order or a market order here, it won't be put in front of any orders which are closing. So if I click market and market close position, it will immediately close my position at a top priority rate. But the most important thing to do now is to tell you about stop losses and to teach you about risk. So essentially you can become a very good trader if you have very good risk management. And I'd say a big part of trading is just very good risk management and entering good and high risk to reward ratio setups. So as you can see on the right hand side here, this is called a stop market. You have stop limit, trading stop. These are all less important, but for now, we'll just stay with stop market. So say I had that $1 position open, I can place a stop if I want to sell at a certain price. So if I've gone long, you want to be putting sell stops in place. And if you've gone short, you want to be placing stop buys in place. So say I was in a $1 long at 64.20, I think was the price. And I know if it goes below 6,400, I'm in trouble. So what you can do is you can place a stop market at, say, 6,400 for your position size. My position size was $1. You press place, and that's simply, all that does is places a market stop at the price you put it at. So all that means is if the price gets to 6,400, your position will market close instantly, or however much you put will market close instantly. Now, one tip I would definitely give, and I wish someone had given me when I first started using Bitmex, was put your orders where you would put your stop losses. Now that doesn't really make sense, but I'm going to explain something here, which will be so quite spectacular, really. This massive drop, which you've seen, I think it went from 7,400 down to, we zoom in, it went all the way down to 61.70. Now I can tell you that on all other exchanges, it didn't go down that low. So one thing to note with Bitmex is with most moves, they go a lot lower and a lot higher than you think they're going to go because of liquidations, because of stop losses, all these things. They push the price a bit lower and a bit higher than most of the other exchanges, which provides a lot of volatility. So whilst today you saw this go at 61.70 here, this went all the way down to 61.70. On, I think, every other exchange, it was at 62.80, which is quite a big difference. So you've always got to have that in the back of your mind, that big accounts are going to want to be pushing down the price, because it triggers your stop loss, and triggering your stop loss means they make money, and that's why they'll be buying and you'll be selling, and the price will instantly go back up, and you'll be wishing that you never sold, never put stop losses in. Okay. So one bit of, it might seem weird, but one bit of advice is put your orders where your stop losses are, and you might see some very cool positions get entered. But I'd say stop losses are probably the most important part of trading on Bitmex. It can get quite messy if you don't have them, and you can lose a lot of money very quickly, which I'm 90% sure you would have seen all the liquidations on around Twitter and everything. There are a lot of 10 mil liquidations, and positions that size you can't really put stop losses, but for positions most sizes, stop losses can prevent liquidation. And it's hugely important that we use them effectively. I think we've covered leverage, we've covered limit orders, market orders. With regards to basic stuff, just setup. You can have setup in a number of different ways. If I just do this, you can have a load of things. You can have a depth chart, you can have a price chart, you can make it lighter or darker, anything you like, anything which makes it easier. It will probably take a bit of getting used to, but over a couple of weeks, I'm sure it will become second nature to you all.
Yep.
I think, is there anything else you want me to cover?
If you have any more tips for these beginners on Bitmex, because we know that this is a very risky exchange.
Yeah.
So proceed with caution, guys.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll go over the tips. The first one was definitely trade when you're ready. Don't trade too early. The second one was put your orders where your stop losses are. The third one was make sure to use stop losses for all your trades.
Yes.
And lastly, a lot of people forget that if you put a stop loss order in and you close your position and you don't have a position open, that stop loss order will still be there. And trust me, I've had it from experience and I've seen it. A lot of people can lose money that way by just forgetting that their stop is open, and it will get triggered and you'll lose a lot quicker and you won't even know it's there. So always check your stops. Here it says 0, 0. So always just have a look at the numbers at each side, and it should help you out and stop you from having a surprise position open.
Awesome. Well, this was an excellent explanation. I have to commend you for that, Joseph. Thank you for joining us today. I hope everyone learned something from this. And if you have any more questions for either of us, I will put our information in the YouTube description, as well as our Telegram link where we have other really skilled traders in the group. All right, see you next time.
A couple Bitcoins.